Welcome to training. Now, I've been asking you to see yourself. See how you created your own belief structures, your own identities, your own blocks, the ones that you created to protect yourself, either in childhood or at some point in time in your life. I have asked you to see possibility that your own sabotaging patterns may not even be yours. They could be family DNA that potentially dates back 7 generations, or even your mirror twins' shared DNA. Understanding all this means that you are accepting, number one, that you created it. It's for good. There's no problem, nothing to fix. You can see it for what it is, a memorized set of patterns, habits, behaviors, identities, traumas, wounds that you put into action, which becomes your reality. And number two, you see that those habits, those behaviors, those identities, all that trauma, it wasn't personal. It wasn't intended to hurt you or block you from your future, your desired reality. Even if it's love or money, career, health, an awesome body, you need to quit smoking. Whatever it is you desire, it really thinks it's protecting you. By seeing that it's not personal, you don't have an attachment to it, which makes the release easier. You can release the blocks without ever having to define what the resistance is or where it came from. You don't have to identify if it's a mother issue, father issue. You just get to release it and let it go. It's not personal. And number three, you now know that you have a superconscious, an unconscious, and a self-conscious that all feeds information that turns into patterns, and those patterns turn into habits, which turns into your reality. That your superconscious, it precedes all other consciousness. It's your intelligence before birth, and it loves to change. And you know your unconscious, it's your feeling mind, your consciousness that's always protecting you and hates to change and never wants to die. And you also now know that your self-conscious, it's your ego, your thinking mind, and it thinks life is all about you. And number four, you now know in order to become a creator of everything you want in life, instead of reacting from the wounded side of the human journey, you must step through the twin flame creator gateway by recoding any resistance and stay in complete alignment so that you can have all you desire. We have been talking so much about the mind because it's what's been controlling you. It's what's been creating all the resistance and blocking you from everything you want in life. Our habits are just patterns of energy. They run through our system and they affect our lives, whether we're aware of them or not. When we look at our lives, we all have certain habits we would like to actively or consciously change. We can also see the outcome of existing habits that have subconsciously collected over time. But there are habits and patterns that you can't see that also block you. And those often creep up in the recode process. And that's awesome and absolutely okay. Let any resistance flow to you in the experience so that they can just be treated and released. As we release existing habits and create new ones, there's an important distinction, a realization that I need you to make. Beneath all the habits or the thought patterns, one that affects every other habit we've established in our life, as human beings, we have habitually identified ourselves as the mind. We are not the mind. We are a soulful presence. We have a body and we have a mind. We have come to have a life experience to contribute to the evolution of consciousness. Realizing that you are a soulful self, you're not the mind, this allows you to change your habits in the mind. It's much easier to release when you realize you're not attached or identified as the mind. Our habits are just our ways of surviving that we establish while perceiving life through the lens of the mind. We have to elevate our level of consciousness and realize, I am not the mind. I want you to start identifying as a soulful self. Look at the human journey, the wounded side, the part of your life where your mind was in control. Now the soulful self, it's the left side of the human journey, the awakening. You're becoming a creator, not a reactor. When triggers arise, health issues arise, arguments arise, anytime you feel a shift in your energy from what you desire, I want you to center into your core. Do the healthy breathing in the nose, down into the Buddha belly, and back out the nose. The reason for doing this is so that we can feel the energy flow into the core, get into the core of your body. As we do, we have a sense of self that comes from a true sense of safety, of well-being, rather than the original wounded ways of doing things. If you're operating based in survival and fear and protection, that comes when you're attached to the mind. Write down what's bothering you. Ask yourself, what is it you truly desire at that time? Feel into it. Then ask yourself, where are you now? How do you feel about where you are now, based on the reality of what you want to feel? Let the resistance, let all the wounds come up, let the blocks come up, let them come to light. Write them down and recode, release, and align for your desired life. Stay in the creator side of the human journey, not the wounded side. With our energy and our breathing, we feel into our soul. Get rooted into the core. Let it flow through your system consciously, intentionally, robustly. Be more present. And when you're more present, you have lucid moments. Choose to operate differently. Operate from the creative side of the human journey, not the wounded side of the human journey. It's here where your power lies. It lies within you. Create from your soul, not the mind. Recode the mind, rewire it so that you can provide the reality of really what you want to create. This allows you to establish new ways of being, new relationships, new ideas, new projects. You want a new life, and most importantly, you want new outcomes. Make sure who you are in your current reality equals who you are in your desired reality. Make sure you're no longer operating from the wounded side of the human journey. Be on the creative side of the human journey. If you want a new life, if you want union with your beloved, be it before you see it. Bye for now.